Corey here with another podcast. We're here for Yarning, out here in beautiful Lapa, out in the museum. Thank everyone for letting us use that. And I'll throw it to the brother. It's on now.
Thanks, Corey. My name's Ronald Prince, proud Camilla Roy Murray from Monday, North West New South Wales, New South Wales, Queensland border. All my mobs, all the Cubbies, McGrady's, shout out to all the mob, all the Bartman mob up there as well. Dad's from Monday, he's born and raised in Toomela. I'm very fortunate to be living and working here in beautiful, digital, country out here in La Perouse. Been living out here for good 26 years now. Yep. So, thanks for having us, brother.
No, thanks for coming in, Brian. So you're Mungandai.
Yeah.
How was it growing up in Mungandai, bro?
Yeah, no, it was good. Grew up one of 12, one of 13 actually. One of my sisters passed away, but I've got 8 sisters, 7 older sisters. And there's 4 boys and me, 2 older brothers and younger brothers. So growing up our home, grew up first in I was only a little baby, but we had an old man and mum and dad had a little thin chap, and then we moved into a high house, and then we moved into the house where mum and dad live now.
Yeah.
So grew up humble beginnings. Sort of teach you your values, how to be humble. Be true to yourself, be true to your family, your community. Represent who you're from, always. And again, having 7 older sisters, you know your place. Straight away. Very young.
No, that's it. I guess, those foundations show through who you are and where you're going in life now. So.
Very fortunate to be where I am. I'm doing what I'm doing. It was a struggle. It wasn't easy. Coming from Monday and moving to Sydney, putting up with all the bright lights, and it was sort of it was tough. Sort of moving, leaving family, leaving home, leaving your community. But I knew that there was a bigger fish to fry, so I knew there were better things out there, and I knew that I had to get out of my community if I wanted to, make something of myself. God knows what I'd be if I was out there at the moment. Probably farming, or my brother is sort of work on the council, and sisters are educators and nurses, so I'd probably be doing something up there to help them out. So. I was fortunate enough. Had some talent, and local laddie beats and kind of recognised it at a very young age. So came up and seen me play in and around Monday when I was about 14, and signed me up there and then. Me and Dean Witters actually signed up at the same time and played all our juniors together, and then we were lucky enough to play A-grade together too, which was pretty cool. So, it was pretty tough growing up our own. You sort of had to put up everything from bloody, racism to having a little, growing up out in the country, you had to stand your ground. You had to show, that you can handle yourself. So those kind of things, and I was always the bigger kid, so, I sort of took on that little bit of responsibility. When I was younger, I just want to say, I'm not violent anymore, but, when I was young, I used to knuckle on a fair bit, because I had a younger sister, I had a younger brother, I had an older brother, I had younger cousins, I had nieces and nephews. So, always being that bigger kid, you'd kind of be the first person that people would look for, when the whips were cracking, but you just sort of had to do what you had to do there
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anything, I look back at that and think how silly I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had to, I had to get in, I had to stand up, and I had to do what I had to do because it was, through family things. And if I didn't, someone would sort of sat me under the ears for not sort of standing up for myself or the mob or.
No, exactly it.
So those kind of things were what you did out in the country as well. But yeah, I look back at it and think it's funny because I wouldn't want my kids to be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially that sort of the fighting and stuff and carrying on. But yeah, it wasn't. I sort of grew out of it when I knew that I was gonna, make a change and didn't really do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So, growing up there with you said your cousins and stuff like that, and getting around the rivers and stuff
Yes.
like that. How was that?
That was definitely summertime. We'd all, it's still up to do anything. So during the day we'd sort of swim, and it teaches you how to swim really quickly. The rivers rise. It teaches you, how to navigate the river system.
Yeah.
You can actually read, when the river goes down, where the logs are, where you can and can't swim. So it teaches you all those kind of things as
Yeah.
well. Summertime we play tennis. Pretty much every afternoon after school, and then we go for a swim and, cruise around and then do it all again the next day. Tennis, summertime, footy,
Yeah.
dinner. Yeah, so, very fortunate. Mum and Dad sort of pushed us, not really pushed us, but supported us in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our house is full of bloody tennis and trophy and cabinets and footy, so we were lucky enough having a big family. We were all pretty half decent at it as well. So
Yeah.
everybody played tennis because, that's what we did in the afternoon, just down at the tennis courts. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So, that was good. That, very fortunate. Growing up out home, and it wasn't only the sport. The campings and the Friday afternoon we go out bush for a couple of days, couple of weekends.
Yeah.
Dog we go out camping and fishing and hunting.
So the culture side of things.
The cultural side of
Yeah.
things, yes. Going seeing sights and learning those yarns as well.
Yeah.
That was always important. Catching fish, yabbies, catching the feed.
Yeah.
Eating goannas and porcupines and so urundales, big billas, they're porcupine goannas that you sort of get around and eat up there as well. So you knew winter time, coming on winter time, the old emus laying eggs, so we go out and get emu eggs as well.
Yeah.
I grew very lucky, grew up like that.
Yeah.
So and that sort of made me the person I am. But I don't really talk about it because in and around here you see all these buildings and everything as well. So I've actually taken some kids from Margaret out to Mungla to let them experience that.
Oh, wow.
Took them out on a camp.
Yeah.
Some of those boys are now men and they still talk about that.
Yeah.
Get them up there.
Yeah.
So that was how I grew up. Yeah.
No, it's deadly. It's it's talking about culture, it's about sharing that knowledge, not just trying to hold it and die with it.
And we're sharing people. We share the yarns, share the stories, share the knowledge. And it's people learn differently as well. Some people are good listeners. Some people are good talkers, some people are good artists, some people are good singers, so there's different ways you can learn, and particularly when it comes to culture. If they don't get it, they can paint it. If they don't, paint it, they can sing it. If they don't sing it, they can dance it. So, there's all different ways to learn through culture as well. Which is definitely, growing up, it was, we used to ride horses as well. It's going after school, you run down to the yards, going, have a race, grab your own bridle, grab your own saddle,
Yeah.
whack them on, and then you're off down the river swimming, and so they were fun times. And I look back at those kind of things now and think, geez, I'd love my kids to do that.
Yeah.
So, and other kids as well. It's very humbling.
Yeah.
So, growing up, it was good and bad. It's like anything. You see a lot of things that I look back at now that were pretty traumatizing as well. Seeing, the fights and the alcohol abuse, and I look back at that as well, and some of that were kind of triggers for my own kind of stuff as well. About my own alcohol abuse and stuff that I went through as well. I kind of look back and think, I could have handled things differently then, but I didn't have the tools to handle it then to what I have now. So that's a bit part of living and learning as well.
And no, it is, and just on, not many people would know when you're playing footy out in Mungandai, the travelling that your mum and dad would have to do to.
Yes, So mum and dad, they drive me 4 or 5 hours to play one game of footy and drive back, and then the old man would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work the next day. So they sacrificed a lot for me and my brothers and sisters. Throw everybody in the car to go and watch us play footy, and then turn around and drive back. But, they didn't only do it for me; they did it for my first cousins and everybody else as well. So had a lot of lovely, had some good footy coaches that helped me out as well. On top of that, so but mum and dad, they just sort of, if I was playing footy wherever it was, they'd want to be there to watch.
Biggest supporters, eh?
Biggest supporters, number one supporters. So and I look back on it now because I think we sort of had a bit of a growl about having to take our kids 10 minutes down the road to footy training, and mum and dad did a 4-hour trip just to get there. That's not included not having that much money and trying to get a feed and then trying to get petrol to get back and living the next week, So those little things, I look back at it now and think, shit, mum and dad did really well for having so many kids that they did, but yet they still sacrificed what they did to, make it work for us.
Most of those roads would have been dirt too.
Yes, a lot of dirt roads, a lot of rows and arguments with the kids in the background, having old station wagon, kids laid down on the back, with the mattress at the back, So those old days, they were pretty deadly. They were good days. But and then you look back at it and think, how did they do it? And then having young kids and having money and budgeting and all that kind of stuff. And the old girl, she'd make Johnny cakes and we're out of bread. Dad would make Deadlers. So there was always a feed. They made sure there was always a feed. Whatever it was lovely. But there was always plenty of flowers for Johnny cakes or Deadlers. Fried scones. Grew up on all of that. When we couldn't get a feed, we'd go and find a feed. So that kind of upbringing's kind of made me into the person that I am today as well.
Nah, definitely right. And moving down to the Roosters, signing with the Roosters, and I guess having Dave there would have been good. Having another black fella there.
Yes, there was a little crew of us. So it was me, Dean Willis, there was Black PJ Ellis. Nate Blacklock was there at the time as well. We had another couple of other brothers from Armidale, Barry Lockwood, Brian Quinlan. So we had a good little crew. The boys. So it was sort of we had the boys there to sort of look after each other, but still young, still wanted to go home. Still went home whenever I could. Snuck out whenever I can. Snuck home and had Artie beats and ringing mum and dad the next day. Jumped out the window and took off. So those little yarns too, I look back at it and have a bit of a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it. That's it. You know, and I guess going from signing with the Roosters and playing some football there to where did you debut?
I debuted with the Sharkies. And I think it was around 2001, 2000. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just turned 20, 21, I think it was. So going from being that little country kid, country Murray that wanted to play NRL to training, coming to the Roosters, not sort of getting a half decent crack there to Cronulla or something, sort of said, look, come over here, we'll give you a crack, and played reserve grade over there, and won a few trophies, and then went on to make my debut over there on the Johnny Lane. Yeah, which was a special moment. They flew my mum and dad down. It was like the first time my mum was ever on a plane. Still remember that. Yeah. So and then it's funny because some of the houses in Mongandai, they're sort of on stilts, and they reckon that because I scored my try on debut, the whole houses was rocking like this all in Mongandai. Yeah, all the mob was going bananas. So it was. And when I look back at it, so it's not only an effort for me, it was, for the whole community.
Yeah.
Mum and dad, the sacrifices they did, my brothers and sisters, they bought me footy boots, they'd give me money to go and do what I needed to do. When I was struggling, they'd send me money, so it's always grateful for that as well. So it wasn't just the whole, me, it wasn't a me show, it was a community thing. Everything from the footy coaches to all the people that I played with and against and learned off some of the old people as well, the old boys. So it was a combination of sort of everything, and I was like that kind of thing that people kind of push to go, we think you got something here, go out and have a go at it. Which I was lucky enough, fortunate enough, and I got to a stage where I needed to, I kind of realised that if this is something that I need to do, I need to get serious on it. So that the sort of light bulb kind of moment dropped, and then that's when, because I was always that bigger kid, growing up. I was always that kid that looked bigger than most kids my age, and growing up around the country, you sort of
stood out.
You stood out, and if you can run, you're sort of a dime a dozen, because most of them were little, nippy fast fellas. So if you had a bit of size and you can run and you can tackle, you're sort of kicking three little. So if you can goal kick, it's another bonus. So I sort of had all those little bows to my string as well. So which was, I look back at it now and think, it's pretty cool. And it's funny because, when I was little, the adversity that I had to overcome was pretty crazy, because, doctors told me that I couldn't walk, I couldn't play sports, and I had to wait and watch, I couldn't play rugby league until I was 8, because, I had a really bad accident when I was little, so that was pretty tough. When I could play, I found that I was half decent at it too. So that was pretty crazy as well. So going from having to watch everybody, play footy, and you couldn't play footy, you wanted to play footy but you can't. So I had a plaster all up my leg and hip for 2 years, and in a wheelchair for 18 months. So breaking my legs and hips, and had to get my toes sewed on and everything. So it's pretty crazy. And looking back at it, go far. So I think it was one of those doctors that sort of said, mate, you're not going to play any sport, or you're not going to be able to run. It was one of those, you say that, I'm going to do it.
100%.
Done from black kids.
I'll prove you wrong.
So it was lucky. It was very lucky. I sort of look back at it and think, people tell me stories about how it had happened and getting hit by a truck and, my mum running in and giving me CPR and, literally dying in an ambulance from Molo to Noreen and then bringing us back and then having to go through all of that kind of stuff. That was, pretty full on for a young kid as well.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I was like 4, 10 and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was crazy.
Yeah, that would have been for your parents as well, so
Yes.
scary, As an 8-year-old, you're like, this is shit, what can I do?
Yeah.
For your mum and dad, it would have been like, I don't care if you can't really walk again, long as you're here.
As long as you're here. And it's not only that, it's traumatic for, some of the old armies that I was with that were walking me to the shops, you know. I wasn't in mum and dad's care at the time, I was with one of the old armies, one of my cousins, and they were affected by it as well, So it's that ripple effect that, things like that, those traumatic things that happen, how you don't just feel like it doesn't just happen and affect you, it affects everybody, And that's the other feel good of why I wanted to succeed in life, to go, look, this is where I've been through, and these are the people that have helped me, but, there's a good yarn in between them.
100% there is.
Yeah, so, overcoming that adversity and having those people and support, to push you to where you want to go and do what you want to do is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, Brian. So going forward of, your football career and going into retirement.
Yes.
How was that for you?
That was pretty hard for myself. I sort of hit the bottom pretty hard. Had relationship problems, alcohol problems. Didn't really do many drugs. I've never sort of dabbled into that kind of stuff, but hit the bottom pretty hard and would sink a good bottle of wine and some, just to get to sleep.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
So, I was in a dark place, at the time, did some rehab.
Yep.
Went down and spent some time down in the rehab down at South Coast as well.
Yeah.
So, had to fight some really bad demons to, be where I am today as well. So, I know that there's a lot of support out there, especially for mob that do go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not alone. You're not the only person that it affects as well.
Yeah.
And there's always someone you can talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those kind of and don't let the bottle get the best of you.
Yeah.
You gotta be better than the bottle.
No, exactly it.
Yeah.
Being okay to yarn to people.
You gotta be young about it.
It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah, it is. It is okay not to be okay. And being men these days in society, people, there's a lot of stress on us. As dads, as fathers, as mentors, as, black fellas, wanting to teach our kids right from wrong, standing up for yourself, being, strong for yourself and your family and your community and, flying the red, black and yellow flag as well.
Yeah.
That's hard enough as it is.
Exactly.
And then, a lot of our mob don't even realise we're targets when you walk out the door, before you even walk out the door.
Well,
you got to put your game face on straight up as soon as you walk out that door.
As soon as
you
you're
go
born.
to the shops, people are watching you.
As soon as you're born.
Yes. And then when you're at the shops, people are watching you thinking, he's going to do something.
Yep.
He's going to do something. Surprise them, that is,
No, exactly right.
Yeah, so, we've got to equip our kids for that as well.
Nah,
So
exactly right.
that's the other side of it. That we're already targets. When, as soon as we're born, and the sooner we realise that people are always watching us, we've got to be, the best person that we can be. It's it took me a long time to realise that. And there's always someone watching.
No, there is. Touching, being a dad, having kids.
Yep. Another one on the way, Mark. So, Proud of my kids. I lost a lot of time through my, abuse with the bottle. But making up for it now with my kids, trying my best to, My son, he's like my best mate, and we sort of ring him every day. Yeah. I never really, he went to boarding school and kept in contact and just sort of supported him and my eldest daughter, and we've still got, the girls are all in boarding school now too. So so trying to be a better me, to be a good role model for them.
Yeah.
That drinking and going out, and that's not, it doesn't define who we are.
No.
But it's a journey. It's how it's a tough road, but it's how you make it at the end is what counts.
Exactly right. And what you touched on before, everyone's watching. You can do 100 great things. You do one wrong thing. That's what you judge for.
Yes. 100%. And you have to be mindful of that. These day and age as well. Not only walking out the door, you have to be mindful of what you do, what you say. You're a Murray fellow, you're a Koori fellow, you're already getting looked at.
Yep.
You're already getting judged before you even know you're being judged.
Exactly right.
And people don't even know you now judge you.
Yep.
Because of the colour of your skin.
Yep.
So we've got I walk out the house every day with my game face on.
Yeah.
And I have to.
Yeah.
I have to be that kind of person, and I don't, I keep my cards close to my chest.
Yeah.
I don't, let too many people in
Yep.
as well, which is a fault of mine. But that's my coping mechanism as well.
Yeah.
But I've got my close cool people that I call on.
It comes from something we don't have to go into, but it comes from being burnt by people that you hold close.
Yes. And some of those people that are closest are the ones that burn you the most.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that hurt you the most.
Yeah.
And they're really hard to overcome as well. You got to overcome those as well. You got to mend those relationships
100%.
as well. And you're better for it in the long run. And again, they're young, and you've got to sit down and have those conversations. A lot of people don't want to have them as well.
No, exactly right. That's some of the work you've done here and around the Lapa community. It's a paramount of what you've done to overcome those obstacles with who you are today as well.
Yes, it's crazy because I've seen a lot of these young boys and girls, work a lot, help with the youth groups out here as well. I've got a big passion for, helping, especially the kids, the younger generation. They're the ones that are going to make the change. I always say it.
Yep.
So empowering our kids, empowering our youth. Just as our elders did to us, we've then got to pass that baton down on to the younger generation, and they'll take it up 10 times stronger than what we can.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're the ones that are going to make the changes.
Yeah. So when it's all said and done, Brian, you're off in the dream time. What do you want to be remembered for?
I hopefully it's just going to be was a humble bloke that sort of, that got on with everybody, encouraged everybody. Very strong, proud, Aboriginal man.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Thank you, my brother.
Thanks for doing that again, bro.
That's alright.